Welcome to the Hillbilly RV channel. Right over there where you can't see, that's the Greenbrier River here in southern West Virginia. So we're at a campground here. These folks called this morning and said they were trying to wire up some new lights in the bathroom. They took down the old incandescent lights that nobody wants anymore and trying to put new LEDs in. And he got something wrong. And he had a guy come to try to help him, and I think it went from bad to worse. He says now that when they try to wire the lights back up and they put the fuse back in for that circuit, it actually trips one of the breakers in the power distribution panel. So that's weird. I wouldn't expect that. So we're going to try and figure out what's going on. We're trying to get this gentleman out of the doghouse. It was funny, I got here and his wife met me and he met me, and I was like, so are you in the doghouse? He said, he was starting to say no, and she said yes. So poor man was in the doghouse and didn't even know it. I mean, that's bad. Being in the doghouse with your wife, guys, we all go through it, but man, when you're in the doghouse and you don't even know it, that's bad. So let's quit fooling around. Let's get in here, see if we can figure out what's going on. Because really, the whole tripping the breaker thing, that scares me a little bit. So I don't know what we're going to find. All right. Got a light down there, and the wall switch is unhooked. So I think they said the switch only worked this light. This light was always, you had to just turn it on the fixture. So let me get y'all set up here, and we'll see what's going on. All right, start by getting our meter out. I know that light might be a bit harsh because just blew my retinas out. I know that. That's my Milwaukee M18 work light, and that thing is great. But if you forget what you're doing and look into it, it pretty much just fries your retinas for the next 5 minutes. So I wonder if there's somewhere here I can find a known ground. There's no gas lines here or anything. Oh, converters. The power distribution panel is right around the corner there. I can catch a ground in there. I'll have to go get me a couple jumper wires. That way I'll have a known good ground. All right, so let me show you where I got my ground from. I just went in there to the power distribution panel, caught me a ground. Now let's hook our meter up and put it on ohms and turn a little beepy thing on. Let's figure out what all our grounds first, and then we'll go from there. I see some smashed wires here. Oh no, those are melted. It says wires are melted. Those should be grounds, and they've already melted. They melted into that hot wire right there. Make sure there's no other wires up in there that we haven't seen yet. Nah, they're just way too long. Okay. All right, let me get my meter set up. We'll carry on here. They definitely had something wrong here. Melt them wires like that. Should put it on ohms. Put the beep on. So we get a beep. Let me hook this to my jumper wire that I just got my ground from. let's start checking wires, see what's grounds, what's not grounds. I gotta get all this. They got everything taped and wire nut. Let me get all that stuff took apart. These are the wires for the switch. Let's make sure neither one of those is grounded. Okay, it's not. So we should be able to just put these together. Well, heck, we'll just stick a switch back in there. Just put those right back on the switch. Turn the switch on. Okay, so that should complete our circuit there. Now let me go up here. Now let's go up here to the first light, figure out what are grounds. Two white ones should be grounds. We got two red and whites. We got a purple, and we got whites. White ones should be grounds. I don't have a fuse in the distribution panel for these, so I don't have to worry about anything touching right now. Listen for the beep. I'll put this over closer to y'all so you can hear it. So this should be a ground. It is. This should be a ground. It is not. That is not either. Okay, so we only got one ground up here. All right, those other two might be a ground, but they might need to go together. Now I want to see. I think this one is going to be from our switch. So let me put my meter over on that wire, but I think I know what it is, and we'll see, because I still have my meter on ohms. I still got the beepy thingy on. So let's see. Okay, so this one is from our switch. Alright, this one, so we got a fan here too, so it's got electric going to it also. So we're going to assume right now that these two are grounds. I'm going to just twist them together. Okay. Alright, let me go back to my known good ground, make sure I'm right here. This is from the switch. Yes. Alright, let me go back to my ground here. Okay. So these are now grounds. Now let me take you right over here to the other light. Try to. Y'all hang on. Y'all hang on. Trying to be gentle. Y'all crooked, but maybe you can see. So now these two should be grounds. That one is. That one is. Okay, so we'll just go ahead and twist those together. Alright, I'm going to stick a wire nut, since he's got a bunch of wire nuts here, on this ground and that other ground over there at the other light. The two ground wires that went together. Alright, now let's get brave and by me, let's get brave and put a fuse in, the one that they've got out. Alright, I tried to put the fuse in and got a huge spark. I think the fuse is still good, surprisingly enough. I have my meter out, we'll just check it. So it looks okay, but as hard as it sparked, there's no way it's still good. Nah, I knew that. No, it's no good. Okay, so we got to figure out what in the world is going on here. It's a red and white wire out there in the power distribution panel that apparently is shorted to ground. They may have melted it up in the ceiling somewhere. Certainly hope not. Let me take you out here to the panel, show you what we're going to do. Alright, so here's the fuse we got out. So the wire out the side of that is red and white. I'm just taking that wire loose. Trying to anyway. Alright. So there's that wire. Catch ground right here. Let's see if that's shorted to ground. I bet it is. Yes, it is. Alright, great. They've melted this wire somewhere. And it has melted into a ground. Because they didn't have any 15 amp fuses. So they put 20s. That's what they said. I'm thinking they probably put bigger than a 20 amp fuse in there, and they've melted that wire somewhere between here and there. Let's pull this converter out of the wall and see if we can see where that red and white wire is melted to a ground wire. Hopefully it's right here. That would be awesome. Yeah, I don't know. Alright, let's pull this thing out of the wall. Now the air conditioner just went off. I hope that's not related. So let me see here. Got several red and white wires. They all look to be in good shape. And they run right along. Run right along ground wires. And run in the wall over there. Oh, mercy. Yeah, there's several red and white wires in here. Two. There's two red and white wires. They sure don't look damaged here. Anywhere. Oh, mercy. Oh. It's not a dead short, but it's enough to pop a fuse big time. I'm just gonna do some looking up here where we can see the wires. Yeah, if you don't have the correct size fuse, don't just put, well, I mean, we all do that. What am I saying? If we don't have a 15, we'll put a 20 in. What you definitely don't want to do is like go to a 30 or something like that. This is the most meltage I see over here. Let's see. I could still pull those wires apart. It's not like they're melted together. Tell you what, I'm gonna take this garnish down. So a lot of times your wires will run through around these vents and stuff. Let me pull this garnish down and see if we see any wires. Yeah, the only wires I see here are for the fan. It's a red and white wire. It's not damaged though. The only damage I see is on that end. Somewhere that red and white wire is melted to something. Well, let's take this power wire apart right here and see. We can separate those two red and white wires. See if either one of those are grounded. Get my meter hooked back up. Make sure the beepy thing is still hooked up. Okay, it is. So let's see if either one of these are grounded. Yep, that one is. So I'm gonna check these power wires over here at the lights. Neither one of those are bad. That's not bad. That's not bad. And that's from our switch. So it's this wire right here. Wow. Wow. So it's the main power wire coming from the power distribution panel, fuse panel, to here. That's where our short's at. It's kind of the most important wire. I don't see it melted though. We might have to try and take some more stuff apart here, because that wire runs. Power distribution panel is right on the other side there, and the wires run up through the side of this cabinet, but they're not exposed because the cabinet has a side in it. So somewhere between right there and right here, that wire is shorted to ground. Let me figure out what I'm going to have to take apart to get to that wire. Well, I'll tell you what. I think there's something behind this. Yeah, there is. So I'm actually just gonna. It's just a piece of paneling on this side. I'm just gonna cut it out because I think it goes behind. It does. Yeah. So I'm just gonna use. I got a brand new blade in my knife. I'm gonna just cut that. Attempt to cut that paneling out of here, and I can reattach it with screws or whatever I want to. Brad gun. That might give us access, I'm not sure. It's not going to be the... we haven't done any harm here. That 1/8 inch panel is pretty easy to cut with a new razor blade. Okay, so this is our fender right here. Just feeling it as far as I can feel it. That's just weird though. I mean, this, I don't feel it melted. It's like 3 ohms. So like I said, it's not a dead short, but it is a short to ground. I'm going to hook my meter to the fending wire here and put the other end to here. Let's see what we got. Alright. Yeah. It's definitely grounded. Somewhere. Wow. Because those wires, they'll run a power and a ground together. They're made kind of together. You can tear them apart, but they're kind of made together. That is the one. That is the one that's grounded. Mercy. I'm going to go back down here behind the converter where I can see all them wires. See if I don't see anything. It just don't make any sense. What I'm going to do, I hooked my meter up to that wire, and now I'm going to go back here behind that converter and start trying to separate that wire from all the others. See if we can figure out what in the world's going on here. So, yeah. I'm going to turn the camera off because I don't know how long I'm going to be down here. Alright, I did find all kinds of stuff melted. I mean, that one wire is melted. Let me show you. You can hear I've still got the meter hooked on that wire, so it's telling me it's still shorted. Let me show you. Try to show you. Yeah, you probably can't see it, but yeah. Like I said, the power and the ground run together, and they're welted back there just before they go in the wall, pretty bad. So I'm going to separate these wires and see, just maybe, right here is where my short's at. See, those should separate real easy until you melt them. Alright, I'm gonna have to lay down, reach back in there, and y'all just hang out here and listen to my meter beep. I'm sure that's a pleasant sound. Man, I may not be able to get them apart. They're really melted back here, closer to that wall. Really melted. Wow. Alright, I'm gonna have to reach back in there with my knife and see if I can separate them. Nope, we're not that lucky today. They're all separated now. We're gonna have to tear a cabinet apart. We got no choice but to tear a cabinet apart. So let me see how we're gonna do that, because we have to tear it apart where we can put it back together. It'd be nice to tear it apart over on this beside the shower, but I couldn't put it back. So let me figure out what I'm gonna do. All right, time for an update. All right, I've got a wire. I got this cabinet apart. Got this wall loose. Got the wire from the converter to here. I just got a fish wire from the ceiling here because I can't pull this anymore. It goes through a lot of the ceiling wires, goes up through a little hole in a joist right back there, and I can't pull it anymore. So we're just gonna have to pull the new wire and we'll just cut as much of this old melted stuff out as we can, but some of it will be left. So yeah, let's pull. I think I can show you all that. Haven't showed you much else, but so here's our new wire. So the ground, it's a two wire cable. So I'm just going to tape it over here to my fish wire. Find my tape, there it is. See if we can pull it through. So if we can pull it through, I went up beside the vent pipe because that's the only place I could get to that had a big enough hole to get all this up through there. So let's see what we can do here. Just wind that lacing wire around our new cable. Tape it just for insurance and to make it a little bit pointy. All right, let's see what happens. Get around that 90-degree bend. If you've ever pulled wires, you know that you can't do a sharp 90. It's just about virtually impossible to do. So that's what we're trying to do here right now. Is do a very, very short 90 degree turn. Oh, this has not been easy. I did not plan on getting into all this today. Taking cabinets apart, all kinds of stuff like that. Yeah, it's getting pinched. It's getting pinched beside that vent pipe. It's really close to one side of the hole. I need it to be on the other side. I was kind of hoping. That's where it was going to go. Yeah, I should have brought I've done all I could do. Should have brought my fish wire around the other side. Yeah, let me just keep struggling here. I'll get this wire pulled through the ceiling here and make our connections on both ends, and hopefully we're done. I hope that cures the problem with it kicking that breaker. That's still kind of throwing me for a bit of a loop. So, yeah, let me see if I can get that wire through there. As soon as I get to cut the camera off, I get it. There's my new wire. So get the fish wire off, and so we should be able to just make our connections on both ends and call this one done. And yes, I always loop the ends of that wire when I'm doing stuff like that, so it don't poke you in the eye and knock your eye out. Gotta watch them peepers, people. You only got 2 of them. You damage one, and then when it leaves one, you don't want to do that. So, yeah, let me make my connections. I'll be back. I mean, I know y'all know how to make a wire connection. Probably gonna use Wagos. I hope, but I don't think it'd be this big a deal if it's still bad. I think this wire that goes across the ceiling is fine. Yeah, it's a little molten, but I mean, I don't think it's grounded. Okay, made my final connections, I think. I believe everything in the ceiling is done. Let's get brave and pop a fuse in this thing. I mean, put a fuse in it, I hope. No huge spark. It is so hard to hit those terminals sometimes. There we are. All right, y'all ready? Let's see. Look. We have light. We'll see if they go off with the switch. One does, one doesn't. That's just exactly the way it used to be. This light came on with the switch. That one had to turn on manual. So, so we're all good here.
Excellent.
Turn it back on. All right.
Outstanding.
Yeah, I got to put this cabinet back together. But let me take you outside and show you this wire real quick, and then I'm gonna commence to putting all this stuff back together, hanging the lights and blah blah blah. There is that wire. It's a really bad place here. And the wire's exposed, a lot of it. Yeah, but it is, there we go. Yeah. So there's what happens when you have a short. And you just keep putting fuses in. And maybe one too large? I don't know, but that wire was pre-melted. Yes, there's some other stuff melted in there, but I mean, I can't rewire the whole camper. So that's all we can do for right now. So don't y'all melt your wires. Get down in that comment section. Leave me a comment, a criticism, a concern. Yes, that cabinet will go back together, and you will probably never be able to tell it was ever come apart. So have a great day.